How's it going? Welcome to Flick of Things. My name is Daniel, and today I'm going to be doing my review of The Mandalorian Season 3. So yeah, I'm a pretty big Mandalorian fan. I absolutely loved Season 1. Season 2 wasn't as great as Season 1, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty awesome, especially that season finale was really great. So yeah, my excitement level was pretty good for this season. But unfortunately, it was a hit and miss, to say the least. For every good episode, there was a bad episode, to pretty much put it in simple terms. I don't know. I just felt like this season was really thrown together. I feel like after season 2, it looks like they didn't have really a direction to go. I mean, obviously in Boba Fett, there's a few episodes that were leading up to something pretty exciting. In season 3, Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, he had to go back to Mandalore to, basically to reclaim his status as a Mandalorian. So they were setting up stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool to see that. But I do have complaints because in season 2 finale, they have what's his name, Grogu get not taken away, but getting passed on to Luke Skywalker, so he could do some training. I don't know. I just feel like it was a studio decision for them to bring Grogu back so suddenly, because I feel like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni had their plans, to do something with Din Djarin, to progress his character, and then have something with maybe Grogu later on the line. But Grogu is such a popular character. I feel like the studio execs just kind of axed their whole plans, the things that they wanted to do. So I feel like they were trying to scramble and quickly put something together to him to come back into the fray, Grogu. Because in the season finale of Book of Boba Fett, the reunion was so anticlimactic, and it was just like thrown together. All the other episodes leading up to that point were actually pretty good in the Book of Boba Fett. Din Djarin, he was doing his thing, and then Grogu was training with Luke Skywalker. I thought that was awesome. But as far as them actually coming together again and being reunited, it was just like, I just feel like they could have done a better job. But like I said, I definitely, I honestly believe, I don't know if this is true or not. It could just be like me just spitting out lies or something. But in my opinion, this is how I feel. I feel like it was definitely an studio exec decision to bring them back together. Because they're obviously gonna be reunited at some point. But I feel like the executives, vetoed whatever Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau had. Vetoed, just straight up axed their plans, and and it's unfortunate because I feel like they had 2 solid seasons, and it just kind of completely destroyed their plans for season 3. They really did have no sense of direction. You could tell. I mean, you could just tell, it was just all over the place, and there was certain decisions that didn't make sense. Like I said, for every good episode, there was a bad episode, and there's it was mildly frustrating because all the good episodes looked like they were leading to something, and then we get another episode that was just flat, and it felt like filler, and it just felt unnecessary. Especially the episode with the doctor, Dr. Parrish, I believe, the one who looks like Dr. Hugo from Batman. Yeah, there was a whole episode dedicated to him and this other girl. I forget her name, but they're basically, he wants to continue his cloning project or whatever, and then and it's just the whole episode was just them two, and it just did not make sense because at first it's okay, maybe they're building up to something bigger, maybe it'll make more sense along the line, down the line in the season, but nothing comes of it. It was just a throwaway episode. It felt like there wasn't no big reveal. There wasn't oh, I see what they're doing. Okay, they're maybe in season 4 or whatever, but it didn't make sense. It was just you have a whole episode to progress the story with Din Djarin and Bo-Katan and Grogu, and then instead you focus. There's only 8 episodes in the season, and you focus on this doctor and some random girl, and it's what? It just, that frustrated me. And don't even get me started with episode 6. It's probably one of the worst episodes of Star Wars I've ever seen. It was that bad. It was probably maybe even worse than any other episodes of Book of Boba Fett. And that's saying something. That's a lot. So I mean, like, that's to say that's worse than, it's pretty bad. Like, it was on that level of like just storytelling and just like nonsense that like was completely unnecessary. It just felt like a side quest. It's like, it reminds me of like a game, when you're open world game and you do like a side quest like on Assassin's Creed, and like just to gain a little bit of cash. I mean, it's just like a stupid story, like, oh, go find my cat in this tree, and I'll give you, a certain amount of coin. That's exactly what it felt like. It was like, oh, like, they go to this, I forgot the name of the planet, and they're like, oh, do this for us and we'll, grant your wish and stuff like that. It was exactly like that. It was a side mission that did not serve a purpose. And it was just like, what? It's like, this is the third episode, the third to last episode 6. And it's just like, dude, we're already like almost at the finish line, and you just have a throwaway episode like that. Like, that was just completely dumb. It was, like I said, it was one of the worst episodes as far as Star Wars television I've ever seen. It was just that bad. And then and it's crazy because it's night and day when it comes to episode 6 and episode 7. Episode 7 was fantastic. I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like, this is what I've been wanting the whole season. What's the name? Giancarlo Esposito. I forget his name. Who's Moff Gideon. He steals the show. Like, I think his acting is great. Like I said, Giancarlo, like, he's a great actor. I love his character. As Moff Gideon. He has like this whole new suit, this helmet. I thought that was awesome. I really loved his helmet. I was like, all right, I need that figure. I don't know if anyone knows, but basically I collect figures, but that one's like, all right, I need that figure. His whole suit and outfit looks awesome. He steals the show. Like, he's not in this season that much at all, but when he's on screen, he's fantastic. He's great. Although I loved episode 7, I do have a complaint. Another one, which was so jarring, is basically the Mandalorian Paz, I forget his name. The big old heavy duty, Mandalorian, the one with the big old machine gun and everything. They killed him off, and it was just like, and it was so like anticlimactic, and it was just so like unnecessary. The way he dies, it was just like, because just the way he dies, it's like, dude, like, he could have survived. It's basically one of those moments like, oh, like he's staying behind to save his friends type of thing. But it's like, dang well that he could have saved himself while also protecting his friends, because there's this door that, needs to be shut. And it's like, you could have shut the door behind, not behind you, but in front of you, that way you're not getting shot at, and you can escape with your friends, with the other Mandalorian. And it just made no sense. It was just like, dude, like, and he's such a cool character. Like, that's another guy that, like, I really want him, like, as far as a figure. Like, I really, like, he's such an awesome character and, like, such a badass pretty much. And they kill him off. And the thing that really, really upset me was just like, they really don't have like a memorial at the end of episode 8 and like a send off for this character. It's like, they don't even mention him at all. It was just like, and maybe they did, maybe it was just real quick and I didn't catch it. And then if that's the case, that's still bad, because like, you should take time. And especially like, he's not a main character, but he's like a main side character, if that makes sense. Where it's like, it's not like this throwaway character where it's like you kill off and you really don't need a mention. He deserves like a proper burial. And it's like, dude, like, come on, man. You got to do better than that. You got to give my boy a good send-off, like how they did Boromir in Lord of the Rings, like they did a little proper barrier, they sent him off in a boat. They could have done something like that, in the waters of Mandalore, but they didn't do that. It was just, I don't know. And then now getting into the full episode of episode 8 was pretty much a big letdown. Obviously, it's like they're going to overtake Mandalore. You get a good hint that, or hunch, that they're gonna take over Mandalore. I'm talking about, or retake Mandalore, the Mandalorian, and that does happen. But I was expecting something more, like something revealing, or something that's gonna set up for season 4, but it doesn't. the whole episode is just action packed, which is cool and fun. But it's just that. It's just a lot of action, not really much substance. It's just cool action scenes, and the only conclusion is like, yeah, they overtake Mandalore, they retake the land, the planet, and that's it. Like, there's no setup for anything of episode or season 4. Finally, Din Djarin, adopts Grogu, so Grogu is now called Din Grogu, which is cool. But they basically, go their separate ways. And the last shot is basically them just relaxing in the sun, by it looks like a trailer. It's like a little house thingy, and it just ends like that. And it's like, what? Like, that's a season finale? Like, no, like that. If you want to talk about good season finales, you could talk about season 2 season finale. That's a good set. That's a great season finale. But this one just wasn't it. It just felt like a very mid season finale. And when I mean mid, I don't mean like mediocre. I mean like mid as in like, this is like, feels like an episode that's in the middle of the season, not a season finale. So I was very underwhelmed for episode 8. So I know I'm giving it a lot of I know I'm really negative as far as this season, but I mean, like I said, it's there's also a lot of good in it. Like I said, it's pretty 50-50, but I guess I'm just more upset because the 50% that was good, it's like at least 80% of it, could have been good as well. I would have been okay with that. I feel like no show is perfect. If you give us 80%, at least 80% good, in a season, that's a win for me. I'm okay for like one. Yes, every season, every show is going to have like filler episodes, which is, should be the max one, but not like a bunch of them. Like I said, episode 6, episode 4, I think it was, episode 3, maybe it was 5. The one where they had to fight the dragon or the bird, whatever, that was I don't know, to me that was a filler episode. But yeah, like I said, the most egregious one is episode 6. That one's awful, embarrassingly awful. I was like, dude, what the heck is this? And like I said earlier, it's a huge contrast to episode 7, and that's why it makes it frustrating, because what this show is capable of being a solid season, and we didn't get that. And like I said, it just feels like the whole, like as far as writing wise, everything was just kind of thrown together. I feel like they had to do like they had like a check mark, a checklist of things they had to cover. Okay, we'll cover this, and then we'll fill in the gaps, somehow, some way. And it's very convoluted. A lot of it doesn't make sense. So as far as this season, I don't know. I feel like it's either between 2.5 or 3 out of 5 Mandos, but I'm gonna give it 2.7 Mandos out of 5. I would say this is a big letdown. Will I watch the season again? Some episodes, yeah, I probably will. But a lot of it, like I said, 50-50. Very disappointing. I'm pretty sure you guys can tell, like, I'm really frustrated, but it's because like I'm a Star Wars fan, I love the prequels. I love the original Star Wars. So yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts for a Mandalorian. Very underwhelming, disappointing season. I'll say this. I still think it's worth checking out. If you're obviously a fan of the first and second one, I mean, you really don't need me to tell you to check it out, because you probably already have. If you liked, or if you didn't really like the first and second season, then I'm gonna say honestly, you're definitely not gonna like this one. If you're maybe in between, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. But as far as like I said, if you're a fan, you probably already seen it. So I don't need to tell you to go see it. You probably already watched it. So yeah, those are just my thoughts and my review of The Mandalorian Season 3. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next one. See you.